what's up? What's up? It's your girl, Neek, and you're tuned in to Neek at Night. And today, I have with me the legendary,
Yeah.
the iconic
That's funny.
Armon Wiggins, who is the top reporter of the Diddy trial. If you are not watching his coverage of the Diddy trial, then I don't know where you have been because he is doing A1 coverage. But today is not about his coverage on the Diddy trial. I'm going to be doing a very quick interview with the legendary
Yeah.
Armon. So, introduce yourself.
You know what? I really like the sound of that. Like you really kind of ate that legendary status up. You know what I mean? We're working on it. The icon status, the legendary status is coming. But yeah, it's Armand. You know what I'm saying? We out here in New York City. Let me tell you something. This is going to be history. This is going to go into the YouTube archives, trial archives. You're going to look back at one of these and you'll be like, you know what? That was a legend right there. That was an icon right there. Okay. So anyway, so I'm here with Neek, and
Yes.
we are going to talk about it for just a few minutes because it took us a lot of time to get it together with the sound. But we're here.
Right. So, tell them your channel, which is.
Armon Wiggins.
All right, y'all already know because y'all already watching his channel, right?
Well, there might
Correct.
be somebody that doesn't see it and doesn't know, so maybe you should find me on Armon Wiggins all across your social medias, okay?
All right. So, Armon Wiggins is a legal commentator and he does pop culture news. And I want to know, how did you get started into that lane?
Okay, so the legal stuff, it all kind of started with the Tory Lanez trial. It was good. I liked it. It was fun. But I think it was just an easy transition because I talk about a lot of hip hop culture, pop culture, and court cases. Honestly, it was about I was getting bored on my channel talking about the same things, and I needed a way to get outside of my living room or
Right,
my
right.
bedroom. And I was like, you know what? Let me start going to these court cases and getting the tea right up front. And so that's kind of honestly how it started. And it started being fun, and I took a liking to it. It was interesting, and it's just a different take on the traditional celebrity gossip and why, if I'm going to be sitting at home reporting on the same news, if I can get there and get it for myself, then why not do that?
Right, exactly. I love it. I love it. So, you are on a lot of major publications and you've landed on the likes of TMZ, Nancy Grace, and so much more. What is that icon next interview or next publication are you foreseeing for yourself that you want to do next?
Honestly, right now, I'm just going with it. You know what I'm saying? I'm walking through it. I would love to do the Breakfast Club. I mean, that would be great. But anything, the View, I would love. I'm like, I want to go. I want to do everything. So Nancy Grace was great. Ashley Banfield was great. I'm going to see Ashley tonight. Hi, Ashley. I'll see you soon. TMZ's great. But really, honestly, out of all those things, my favorite was iHeartRadio.
With
That would
Angela
Angela
Yee?
Yee. You know why? Because my dream was always to be in the radio station, and that was my first time on air. And the fact that I was on air in New York City at the iHeart building in the number one market, New York City, it got no better than that. You know what I'm saying? I was like, this is really happening. And then like people were calling me and they were like, oh my God, I'm listening to you in my car right now. And so
Yeah.
it was a dream that I was able to get through. So for me, the television stuff is cool, but that was I wanted to go to school for radio for a long time. I tried it, and I couldn't find actually a job in it because there was no room. And so that's essentially how I started my YouTube channel anyway. But being able to sit there like that, it was amazing. I'm not gonna lie, it was amazing. I loved it, and I think about it. I want to go back.
I can definitely see you doing radio because Armand is one of those people to where he puts you in the room with him. All of you guys who have been watching his coverage on the Diddy trial, he makes you feel like you're there. So doing radio, his description, his storytelling is next level. So I can definitely see that for him. But speaking about storytelling and things like that, where do you think, like, where did you start your storytelling? Like, put us in the mind of Armand when you're about to tell a story. Like, how do you drum up and just get everybody into the atmosphere, if that makes sense at all?
Because I know how I like a story to come back and be told to me. So I like all the details. So I feel like if you're gonna tell me the story and it's a good, juicy story, Well, I need everything leading up to it, in between, and everything around that story. And so I feel like that's the only way to really tell a story. Who wants to have told story? When you get the tea, you want the whole cup filled, not just a little bit. So for me, we're not cutting any corners with the stories because don't you want everything?
You want it all, baby.
And so I just always, when I go into telling a story, I think you set the scene, and I feel like when people are there, not there, you want them to leave, feel like, okay, well, I don't need to go watch a movie or watch it, see it for myself. I can trust what you said, or at least I'm entertained enough by the story. And so it's funny that you brought up storytelling because I don't know, in my mind, I'm working on something to where I want to go and tour people and because I've been thinking for a long time, like, what show can I take on tour? I'm not really a comedian like that, and I don't really
You
want to take.
definitely eat the comedy up.
But I don't really want to take on like gossiping. So I really want to take a different approach and maybe do like the art of storytelling tour, where I teach people how to storytell and build their YouTube channels.
That would be a dope lane.
You know what I'm saying?
That definitely
I was
is a
thinking
dope
about
lane.
that. So
Yeah.
we'll see.
All right, so what is something that you learned from being a content creator? You've been a content creator for some time now, and we're gonna give it a second as the ambulance goes by, and we're gonna wrap this up really soon. But tell us something that you've learned being a content creator because it comes with drama, beefs, it comes with a lot of people don't know, like depression weighs on your mental. What's something that you've learned overall?
Oh God, I've learned so many different things. The first thing that just comes to my mind right now is just tomorrow's a new day. You know what I mean? And you're not gonna please everybody. Like so, somebody's gonna not like you, and someone's gonna love you. There's someone out there for everybody, and just like there's someone out there that likes everyone, you can't please everybody. So everybody will be a villain in somebody's story. So who gives a you know
How
what
do
I'm
you
saying?
navigate the beefs and stuff like that?
At this point, I mean, I've decided that I've spent too much money and invested too much, and just there becomes a point in time where certain things are no longer valuable. So, um, within like my peer circle and things like that, I just feel like certain beefs are not even worth it, just because it's like I've spent too much money and I can't invest it in myself, and I'm chasing too many different goals that I have to beef with people just in general, whether they're on your same level, they're beneath you. I'm not worried about you because that's not where my money's at this point in time. And then when it comes to celebrities, well, the best way, to beef with them is be successful. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of the celebrities, they feel like, you're expendable because you don't have the amount of money or fame and access. So, even when I get in certain situations like that, it's just like, you know what? Put your head down and get your money up.
Right. So last question. I'm gonna take one last question from you guys. If y'all could type it really, really quickly. But they said be successful. This is good. Yes, yes. So one last question. Shalia.
Charlene.
Oh, Charlotte. One last question for him. Let's
One
see if
last
they type.
question.
If we had to do a podcast, who would it be? Like, who would be?
How long did it take to? We would need a juicier question than that.
That's the type of question.
No, not that one. I'm talking about on the screen. All right, so if you were to do a podcast and you were to have a co-host, who would be your dream co-host? Because he giving main character energy,
Okay,
so his
a
co-host
dream
gotta be,
co-host podcast, dead or alive, anybody. I would want it to be Wendy Williams.
Okay.
Wendy Williams, Howard Stern. I would say Nikki, but I just feel like I wouldn't be able to talk. You know what I mean? But I love Nikki, but I just feel like she ain't gonna let me talk.
Right, she gonna overpower. Well, that's our mom, Wiggins, you guys. I don't want it to be too long because we do have to head back, and he has to give y'all the visuals that go along with it. All right, so that's it. Y'all can follow him on his Instagram, on his YouTube, on his Twitter. Let them know all the places they can find you.
Yes, you can follow me all across your social media at the Armon Wiggins Show. All right, and listen. What I'm loving about this moment right now is because back in the day, when I was younger, and I mean like 5 years ago, 6 years ago, maybe even 10, I would watch things like this and I would look at people like you and just not necessarily you, but like people young doing their thing. And I know one day this is going to be a vintage legendary video. Okay? This is going to be a legendary video. And somebody's going to be doing a report or research or trying to figure out what historic YouTubers were on the scene. And they're going to run into this video. And just remember, I told you that you're looking at icons right here.
Icons living.
Living. Let me tell you something. This shit, we are changing the way that trials are being covered. We are changing the trajectory of new media. All right? When you get into your media history books, you will see these faces. Don't you forget it. I'm telling you. History is being made right now. History is being made. Hands down.
All right. Well, that was Armon Wiggins, and make sure you stay in the light. All right. Bye, y'all. I'll see y'all later.